So this is Wow Teaching Hospital. These are State Hospital. These are the grounds. This was going to be an operating theatre, but at the moment it's used for a store. Would make an excellent operating theatre. The tiles at the moment are off the walls and there's lots of stuff in there, but is ideal for an operating theatre. Administration, buildings, and the School of Nursing, and just generally the grounds. Always a lot of people around because the relatives stay here to look after the patients and bring them food. Babies don't wear nappies, certainly not the poor babies. I haven't yet seen a baby with a nappy on or a child with a nappy. Right, this is the outpatient clinic. All the patients coming into the hospital come via this clinic. Very busy. They see 200 to 300 patients here a day. It starts sometime in the morning and goes on until it finishes, basically. The patient arrives here and they're booked in by the receptionist, and then they basically just sit and wait.
So when they come there,
And there's a sort of triage system. There's a nurse who, if a patient comes in who's very sick, they'll get admitted. I'm not quite sure where she is this morning. This little chap's having his breakfast. So 2 doctors will sit here. There's 2 chairs, and the patients will, both sets of patients will sit at the table, so no privacy or confidentiality here. That's where the doctors sit. They're just sort of fighting over whose turn it is to come in, I think. This is where the doctors wash their hands. The taps don't work, so they wash their hands here. And behind this screen is the examination area. There's a patient in there at the moment, so we won't go in, but there's an examination area behind there for people. So do get a bit of privacy. On the wards they don't seem to have screens. All the care happens in full view of the other patients and the many relatives, except for intimate care where they do try and screen them off. This is the non-working sink, one of the many non-working things here, where patients who, to get their prescription drugs, which they pay for, I think they pay £1 Sudanese to be seen, and then different amounts for what they need. So we have a male queue and a female queue. Not quite sure why, but there we are. That's the pharmacy. Right, this is where they take bloods in the laboratory, and they use this suction method to take blood, suck the blood up the tube. Here comes another child.
They're coming from the village. We buy it and then put water.
People get to the hospital in all sorts of ways. This child is obviously quite sick and just coming on the back of her friend's motorbike. And he'll just go in here and book in. Her tests are very limited. very, very limited, but they can do tests for malaria and stool specimens and things like that. And they've got some microscope. And here's the relatives camping out all under the trees. This is the theatre section. They've tidied it up a bit since the day before yesterday. Despite the fact there's a sort of boils machine here and another one, they have no oxygen. So that's a bit of a problem. The anaesthetics tend to be spinal or ketamine. They just use ketamine for caesarean sections with no airway management at all. Suction machine. And no monitors. There's a couple of new monitors in the store, not yet unpacked. Steve and I are going to have a try and see if we can commission those later. Don't know whether we'll be able to or not. There's a couple of ventilators there as well on suction, but unfortunately the Chinese are given loads of equipment, even an X-ray machine, but nobody's unpacked it. They said it arrived last week, but it looks like it's been there for considerably longer. So this is the theatre operation just about to start with Poole at doing the surgery. Just getting adjusted. I don't have an anaesthetist here. Not quite sure what this lady's having done. It'll be a gynae operation and no monitoring and no suction, so we're just waiting. When I first was here I felt quite intimidated being a white person wandering around, but I'm sure someone will think I'm a bit strange. So they mostly seem quite happy to have photos taken. Oh, a taxi's arriving. I may get run down if I'm not careful. There we go, local taxi. Lot of dust, lot of red Sahara dust, it gets everywhere. That's the well, and just getting the water. Again, these are all the relatives outside. So this baby has just been delivered.
You remember when we were there in the outpatient?
Oh yes, he was in outpatients a little while ago. Just born. We're in the maternity section now.
You can just go and see this.
Very dark delivery room. Very dark.
When we are doing operation, they carry this with them, and then the baby is put here and brought here.
So this is for sterilisation for the theatre here. Postnatal, I'm not sure, post-surgery in here. Wards, and these are just for patients that maybe have got malaria or UTI. There's also the next ward down there is the eclampsia ward. And these are the theatre gowns that they wear.
Awards today.
This kid's working very hard doing his water. This child's just coming with rheumatic heart disease. This is the nurse. Only two qualified nurses, but these have had some training. But actually just two nurses in the whole of the hospital who are qualified.
The treatment is being what?
He's getting better now.
Yes.
Good. There's a bit of a Poole baby here. He's presented with peeling of his skin. And his mum. And the little one over there. Little one's had neonatal meningitis. His mum. The mothers don't seem to know their ages and they don't know when their birthdays are. This little one's got malaria.